What's going on, everybody? Metal Dad's here for another episode of Spirit Metal, and I'm sitting down with my boy Cpt Jackass, also known as Todd Holmes. Good friend of mine. We spent a lot of good times together, and he's been helping me on my spiritual awakening and the journey that I've been going on, trying to fix this, whatever happened to myself. So, without further delay, I'm going to let him introduce yourself. Cpt Jackass, tell us who you are.
Hey, how's it going, everybody else? So, Cpt Jackass, found my hat. It's my new hat. I'm a medicine man. Medicine man all need magic hats, right? You never see a medicine man without a hat. It's important. Really what I do is retired military. I spent years in the military, and since then I've been on it, was released from post-traumatic stress, and that I was on my own journey, right? And I spent a lot of time traveling the world, all the way through Nepal, Buddhist monks, yoga, as well as a lot of First Nations. I mean, I've done 2 sweat lodges this week too. We're going out to a healing week in Todd.G here in a couple. I was going to mention it to you as well. Yeah, we have a healing week where we're going to do like 6 sweat lodges in a row, right? And
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, dance through the nights and stuff. It's just up with a little different though. I always say the elders up north are a lot harder. yeah, they're tougher up there. So the sweats, they're hot, right? But yeah, so I mean, I'm volunteering where I can, working with different people with addictions and everything else. And I have a ashram and a kind of temple that I built in Nepal. And there I have people looking after it, and I'm hoping to, I will be heading back to Nepal later on this year and finishing my plans for the hospital and building there. But in the interim, because I've always wanted to go there, I'm going to Israel in April. So I created this character, Cpt Jack, who's really, I call myself Sufi G yogi, right? So Sufi comes from the word Safa. Safa means innocence, pure, right? So no religion, no caste, none of that stuff, right? No nationality, anything else, right? Just that Sufi, G, friend, yogi for union. So as I walk around, I'm just doing a pilgrimage, and as I walk, and one of the best ways I've found this in the world is that where I walk, and I just meet great people. And then I, just like yourself, all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel, that's how I contribute. And so I'll share with those people. And I'll just talk to them. And then I'll run a yoga class at 3 p.m. every day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Where do you run that at?
Wherever it's a park available, everything else. Because it's all free, right? Of course. So
yeah,
so I just...
Why would you...
I meet a lot of weirdos, though. It's kind of funny. I'm just going to say it, right? So I'm teaching a lot of weirdos yoga around the world, but I like the weirdos, so that's okay.
Weirdos are our kind of people.
Yeah,
There we go, sure.
You know, because how many people can do that, right?
Yeah, man.
Well, that's it. So,
sorry, I don't mean to be distracted. I'm just trying to share it on Facebook because we got nobody watching yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good.
But I'm still listening. So, you tell me that you're going to be going to the Holy Land this year.
Yeah. So the big thing is
the character that you created, Cpt Jackass.
Jackass, right? Well, a couple things. Well, one thing I found out is when you're going and you want to challenge people's beliefs, right? It's very important to one, get their attention. So I create a character, right? And I did the same thing in Nepal, right? So I get that, and I start dancing. I get a rap song. I have a little carpet, and I sing. And
That's right. You sent me the lyrics to this.
Yeah. I'm still working on it, right? I'm
not ready to.
Not yet. Yeah. What is it? Red light, green light, go, yo. Here we go, right? Because it's based off this. There's a Sufi in army clothes, right? And I'm just going on. Hallelujah, Elohim, Allahu Akbar. Listen, G here. Asher is the tree of life, yo. The fragrance it produces from all the flowers. Why are we fighting over that? G? And it's just in that side, right?
Nice.
So I'm trying to get people to look at. We're fighting over the tree of life, over the flowers that this tree has produced, right? Whether it's the Prophet Muhammad, blessings be upon him, whether it's Moshe, the lawbreaker, whether it was Abraham, whether it was Buddha, whether it was Yeshua, all the Guru Nanak, the tree of life.
now we have video going, so we're good. We got it all audio recorded though. So
Yeah, that's all good. It's all
guys, you guys might have missed the first part of the podcast because my normal degenting friend isn't here today. So I apologize for that, but we got all the audio recordings that we'll put up on there later.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, here we are now. I thought we were at one point. Anyway,
Yeah.
those of you just tuning in, me and Todd are playing some chess here. Todd, Cpt Jackass.
Cpt Jackass. Yeah. Well, let's just get people's attention, right? Hey, Cpt Jack for short. Kind of a jackass. Kind of a dick. Rub me the wrong way, I become a prick, yo. But I'll tell you what. You know, and that's it. So I could get into people's faces. But I'm going to land in Mount Carmel when I get to, Tel Aviv. And I'm going to walk over to Nazareth. And then I'm going to walk along the Sea of Galilee and up to Mount Hebron. And then I have a friend of mine picking me up on the 15th.
Okay.
At the base of the mountain, and then take me down to Jerusalem. So that evening I plan to attend the mosque on the dome and attend Isha prayer, the evening prayer. And then,
awesome.
Yeah, I like praying at mosques, I really do. And then I'm going down to see the Franciscan friars, as I was saying, afterwards, and spend Easter in the monastery. Then headed over to Bethlehem, because I wanted to see that and see different parts of the occupied West Bank, right? So. things in a way that they can't stop, you know, and it's beautiful.
I know what's happening. Every time I minimize this,
Oh no, what's going on?
it transitions back over to here.
Must they keep losing us, eh?
Yeah. Look at that. Ha 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 ha! It's okay, we'll just leave that up there now. No harm, no foul. I don't have to minimize it.
Good, good, good.
I don't even have to pay attention to it.
All right, give me your move. My next.
You're next. Me and Jeff played last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. James had a good idea too. He's gonna, once he can, we're gonna set up a chessboard so people can see the moves on the podcast. So you moved there, did you?
Yeah. As I said, right, two types of attacks, direct and indirect. Right now, World War III is happening. It's all fifth generational warfare, things behind the scenes. Sleights of hands, people wearing masks. It's crazy. It's a whole crazy
There's
world
some
right
actors
now.
doing some funny shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of fun actually. If you know the game, it's fun to play, right?
It's even funner to watch.
It is. That's why they say enjoy your popcorn. But too many people, you're getting emotionally involved in it, right? You have to stay back, right? This whole time is what I'm trying to teach people, Ryan, is learning to stand in your own power, man. What does it mean to be you? What is you? You know what I mean? You're finding this now, right? So for instance, I was at a sweat lodge the other week, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, you're there, and you're a veteran." And I go, "Yeah, look, I was part military. I'm a veteran, but this is pieces of me. I'm a father. I'm a lover, I'm a poet, I'm a musician too. You know, there's so much more to me. We are multidimensional beings, right? So when you stuff yourself into boundaries, you become very limiting, right? Yeah. We like our boxes, we like our boundaries, so we're constantly looking for something, right? Because we need to tell ourselves a story, right?
That's how they get people trapped in the racism trap.
Well, it's all of that, right? They get people looking this way, they get people looking that way. But the whole thing is when you stop, right, and look within, right? Because this is sacred. So one of the things I've been talking about to people is that if you have two hearts, you're sick. You only need one heart. But most people have a heart for themselves, and then most dudes it's down located here.
Yeah.
And then a heart that they say for everybody else, right? So get rid of the heart for yourself. So that's what I teach with yoga is Kundalini energy, right? So how to raise up energy. Because religion will tell you that desire is the problem. That's not true. Because the proton did not desire the electron, there's no place would it be here. So it's not desire that's the problem. That's a natural law, right?
Yeah.
Things desire each other. It's the object of your desire, right? So if your desire is all in your lower chakras, you're going to want to eat and, you know, fuck and do whatever else, right? And then you have that two hearts. You have a heart for the world and a heart for your dick, really, or for yourself, right? Fuck that. Raise it up, right? Bring it up into your heart and stuff. And that's the part of my Kundalini yoga, right, that I teach. So one of the first processes, if you just take your right hand, I think I've done this with you in the woods before, and just put it on your heart, you know, and that's the first thing I get to people, is just to close their eyes, and then we ask this question, because the heart chakra has 12 petals, right? So we're going to ask this question 12 times. Mother, am I the spirit?
Am I the spirit?
Mother, 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 am I the spirit?
And then we move it down to just on the top left side here, right? So right here is kind of like where you carry, this is your teacher, your guru, right? So, mother, am I my own teacher? You know, we're asking for freedom here, right? Mother, am I my own teacher, right? We ask the mother's energy, right? Am I my own teacher? And then we, down to our lowest chakra, both hands down here. Mother, am I your child? Right? Mother, am I your child? And then it's just a work back up. It's a confidence, right? So it's 4 times here. Mother, I am your child. Mother, I am your child, right? Mother, I am my own guru. Mother, I am my own guru, right? Mother, I am the spirit. Mother, I am the spirit. And then up here is where we carry our guilt, right on the left neck. So if you get pains in here, it's just that guilt, right? Because we just choose. So you put your hand up here and just, Mother, I'm not guilty, right? Because there's a difference between being guilty and responsibility. right? So I've been trying to teach this ever since Nepal. Is responsibility is not the same as saying it's your fault, right? You know, so you don't have to feel guilty about everything that's been going on. But it is your responsibility to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to let go of that guilt. So we put it up here. There's 16 petals in this chakra. We say it 16 times. Mother, I'm not guilty. Mother, I'm not guilty. Mother, I'm not guilty. And then we come up to the forgiveness chakra, which is in the Ajna, the third eye. And that's also the mother's, or the Yeshua chakra, right? So when we get here, it's Mother, I forgive all, right? And you just forgive. And then, as I said before, Yehovah Allahu Akbar, the one that doesn't incarnate, right? We still have a need to ask for forgiveness from that father's side. It's part of our psychology. So we take our hand, we put it on the back of our head. He already forgives you, don't worry. He's good that way. As soon as you change, he's like, yeah, cool, right? It's just the things that people think he's so interested in, right? Like he's running the whole universe. Do you think he cares if you wear a hijab? No, right? No. That's one of the things I preach. Yes, inside the mosque, go ahead, wear the hijab. That's the rules, right? But on the streets, Muhammad didn't mean for them to be covered forever. I really mean that.
Yeah.
Right? So as I said, I say a lot of controversial stuff, right? That's why I got to be funny or I get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that subject.
Especially going to a place like
that.
that.
But that's part of my life path, right? Like I have no problem. I'm working with halfway house prisoners, drug addicts, you know, ex-bikers, everything else. Like I get in. You know, I'm a sword, man. Like my whole life was about becoming harder and tough, but at the same time keeping that innocence.
Yeah.
So I see them all as the children they are that have been hurt, right, by this system that's been set up to poison everybody in this planet in so many different ways and make us hate each other. So they're not guilty. I don't see them as guilty.
Yeah.
But they're responsible, right? I need to teach them how to become responsible. So I try to show them how to energize back up, right? And part of that is raising the Kundalini, right? You could all be washed, you could all be clean. Everything's forgiven. We just got to change our ways and stand in our power and become the multidimensional beings that we are, you know? That's really where it's at. And that's a lot of my message is just trying to wake people up to the fact that how fantastic they really are, right? Like they've been beaten down so much, right? And a lot of what people would call the dregs of society is where I like to hang out with, right? So I'll go right into these darkest of places because I've been built for it. Because I still see them as children of God, the Creator, right? And what we say in the sweat lodge, right? Our story is that the Creator sat with us for thousands of years and showed us our whole life many times and asked us, "You still willing to go?" And we said, "Yeah." And I think, wow, you're just brave for doing that. Because the Creator told us that this was the part where this is the battle, so we're kind of ambassadors, right? So the Creator created us to come here and bring the light into the world.
They were switching around.
Oh yeah, that's alright. You know, I'll let it go.
Well, the board was all set, and then it got all, screwed up.
Okay. So let's go back to the kind of creator stories, right? See, the creation story, what I learned in the First Nations is crazy, man. It takes 7 days to tell it all. That's why we go for Healing Week, right? Like, these stories take a long time to tell because it just didn't pop. You know, like it didn't just happen, right? Like you were born, you might have looked out, you look at your dad, you're like, yeah, he definitely did make this place. Look at your mom, well, maybe she might have done this, but like, who made this place, right? Like something made this place that we're existing in, right?
Yeah.
And we come in here through a portal in a woman's stomach, right? So a Hu energy from the Egyptian times, manifester. We're manifestors. A woman also is a womb man. We all come through a womb man to get into this reality, but we're not from this reality.
Yeah.
When our bodies leave, we go back to wherever next journey is going to be, and that's really depends on a lot. So what we teach in yoga is that this year is going to be a big change, because as of March 21st, Pluto comes back in Aquarius for 20 years. Who's Pluto? Pluto's Lord. See, every star, every planet, everything has a relation to deities and to ancient teachings.
Is that why they deplanetized Pluto?
Yeah, because they don't want to give it power, but Pluto is one of the most powerful planets, right? So when Pluto comes back here on the 21st into Aquarius for 20 years, everything's going to change. And that happens in March, right before I'm going on the Israeli trip. Pluto is Lord Yamaraj, which is the Lord of Death. and Lord Chitragupta, who's one of the most powerful angels. So the Creator created himself many times. We call it the 17th creation of the Creator. Oddly enough, 17, eh? But 17th creation of the Creator is called Lord Chitragupta. Has all the Creator's powers, because the angel of death was complaining to the Creator, saying, listen man, it's too busy out here. I need help, right? That's the story, basically. He's like, I got 84 million different multiverses. Everybody's dying, because it's not just this verse, right? In creation. This is just the one we're aware of. Right? So the angel of death dealing with people all over, he's complaining to the Creator, right? That's the story. He's like, I'm busy, man, like, help me out. So they created Chitragupta, who's like the record keeper. He keeps all the, and then he decides, right? So whatever life you've lived, when we talk about kicking you in the fire, it just, you got to understand how creation was, right? So your first life was either fire or water. This is the epoch, right? That's how you got here. You're a mineral. And then you become a plant, right? And then you move into, like, some people lived here as dinosaurs. You might have been, and that's your state of beingness, right? As your energy forms and stuff, right, changes back. So this guy Chitragupta looks at you and says, what, you've been doing all this stuff? Like you know, I tease with my wife, it's like, that guy's over there, you know, jerking himself off, hanging out in the outhouse. Everybody else is out here happening, right? So what do you think Lord Chitragupta is going to do, or the energy of that, when the time's to pass, right? Because karma is just how it is. It's just, there's no, it's just, universe is like a big photocopy machine. So it's going to be like, you're going way back, and what they mean by the fire, it's like, you're going back to become a mineral again, young man. And it's going to take you millions of years, you didn't get the lessons, right? You're going back, and they do, that's what they mean by the fire. Or a plant, or a lizard, or, you know, there's different levels that you could go to. And there's also asuras and different things, and different levels, right? So it's all based off, because in what I've learned from yoga and medicine, there's basically 31 realities that our souls, where we're at in our time space, are currently traveling through. So there's 33 in total in this area, but 2 of them are closed off to us for right now. And in those 31 realities, some of them are very hellish, some of them are like this place, and some of them are very golden realities, right? So as our energy moves forward and gets recycled and stuff, we come back, we go forward, right?
Everything moves in cycles, and like it swings both ways.
Well, you got to think of, like, you go into different areas, right? So right now, your body has 3 sacred fluids, right? So you have your lymph fluid, which is more than your blood, right? All the clear fluid. And then you have your blood, which is also sacred fluid, and then you have something called chi, which is your bile in your stomach. So why we fast and stuff is to purify these liquids, because these liquids attract beings. And I was explaining this to the people with addictions. So the moon has different types of beings on it, right? Just because you can't see them, there's energy of beings there. These are interdimensional beings, right? So the bad drunks and the bad everything else, those are the moon beings. They love you. They're going to get you to party. They're going to get in your blood. As soon as you get alcohol in your lymph and your blood, they're like, they could get inside of you, man. You're giving them portals. Right? Just like Saturn has beings, right? Some are evil, some are good. That's why the engineers wear the ring of Saturn, right? Jupiter, right, has beings. Everything has connections to entities, right? So if you look at the Rudolf Steiner and some of the old Black Sea mystery schools and the ancient teachings, right, is that when we die here, we actually go through 4 stages in Venus. That's kind of, there's like 4 different stages that happens in Venus to us. Before it's determined somewhere else, right? And that's just some of that ancient knowledge I've read, and I'm not an expert on that, right? I'm not expert on anything, actually. I'm very humble on all this, right? That's my whole point, is that I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, why are we killing each other over this?
We're just fucking here.
Let's chill out, everybody, right? Like, what do we know?
Everybody just fuck off!
Yeah, exactly, right? They just, shut up, this is it! Like, I was telling Steph that, I was like, I'm gonna start Terry-tating people everywhere I can go, right? It's just like, Terry Tate, office manager, right? Cpt Jackass is here. Give it up. Stop killing each other. Stop blowing yourselves up. It's enough, right? That's my idea. But expressly, just to say that, you know, like, gee, what are you doing, man? You know what I mean? Like, really think about this. Let's just, and sit there. Use our logic, right? Not just, because people do things for emotional reasons and then justify it with logic, right? So I'm trying to get people to use logic to justify their emotional reasons for doing things. Just kind of the opposite, which people don't like to do that. They just go with their emotions, energy and emotion. You are emotion, right? But there's time. You know, one of the elders once taught me, like, whenever you're about to answer something, remember, Todd, your first thing should be silence.
I like that.
Anything before your answer. First thing should be silence, because you don't know shit. You know? But even your body, right? Like, right now, like, you know, I'm older, I get pains in my shoulder. And instead of reacting to it, silence. Like, why is that pain in my shoulder there right now, right? Like, what's going on? Is it funny, slept funny later, slept something earlier, right?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. That was my move again, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Alright, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I don't go back and watch these episodes either, so it kind of freaks me out sometimes. I don't know if the audio is actually working. But we're recording the audio and I can sync it up later and when I get more professional and start doing things.
I don't worry about it. I'm gonna move over here.
Move out there now, huh? Okay then.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm going up to Mount Hebron, Har Hermon. And that's interesting. There's a grid spot I'm going to. That's really cool. It's where the Watchers crashed.
Oh.
Yeah, so around 13,000 years ago, just before the flood, right, the Watchers crashed into Earth. So that's what are referred to as the Nagas, or the snake people of Shambhala.
Okay.
So under the Himalayas, there's like giant cities, right? And they're full of, there's 7 different types of snake people that live under the Himalayas. When I go over to Nepal, yeah, they're pretty cool. I actually really like them, right? And,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that there are good reptilians and there
well,
are
like
bad
any
ones.
beings,
There's
right?
good humans.
Oh yeah,
there's bad ones.
From what I could see though on this planet, from what I've observed, humans seem to be the worst. I'm just going to throw it out there, right? Like,
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, we're about to nuke each other. What are you doing,
like,
right?
Like, what are you fucking people doing here?
Yeah, it's like, and they're like, oh, the snake people are like, dude, what do the snake people do? They run at everything. They're like, shut up. Right? They're not
Look at what they did to Alex Jones. Made one little mistake when he was just on a rant, and they tried to take $1 billion from him.
Oh yeah, well that's just this cultish kind of attitude on both sides. So, you got to see it, right? Whether it's conservative or liberal. That's why I don't.
That's what Crowder was calling out.
That's why I wear a brown hat, man. People are like, you white hat? I'm like, no. You black hat? I'm like, no. I wear many hats, man. I wear a brown hat, Jedi in the middle, balance of the Force, purple lightsaber, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Mace Windu. Yeah, that's like exactly right.
That's what color my lightsaber would be.
Yeah. Hand me my lightsaber, bitch. It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
I actually equate Qigong to the manipulation of the Force.
It is. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing, right? So I think that time we were working on that mantra with you, right? The mantra for Kundalini. Prana.
Yes. Yeah.
Prana, which is chi, right?
Yeah.
Prana, upana.
Upana.
Lift up, raise up. So chi, raise up. Prana, apana, sushamana. So you have your heart chakra here is your anahata. But on your back here is your sushamana. It's kind of like your plug-in in the matrix, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and that's where you're trying to raise the Kundalini up so that it meets, right? That's the Shiva Shakti, the Star of David, the Magan Divid.
Now, is that how you unk your energy?
Yes. That's the connection, right? So you're starting to build that.
So I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day, but I was getting...
But remember when the Kundalini rises, right? It comes up, but at a certain point, it comes out the back of the head, folds over your head, and goes into the forehead.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
It's going to give you a big hood, because it's serpent power, right?
Yeah.
Vatican is the temple of the snakes, right? Snakes on Moses' staff, right? The snake people, these snake people were known as gods. One was known as Enlil, one was known as Enki, right?
Yes.
And anyways, the Great Flood was coming, and they knew about it, and Enlil voted, most of them voted, yeah, let's just kill the humans off, and all the giants, the Nephilim. But Enki's a great scientist, right? So Enki decided, no, I'm going to fight an experiment. So he turned himself into a tiny little fish and put himself in a pond. And some human picked him up and helped him. And he said, no, I'm going to help these humans. And that's the whole story of Noah, right? Because the first Immaculate Conception is not Jesus, it was Noah. See, Lamech, Noah's father, was black as the ace of spades, man. He's like, he was not Ethiopian Jewish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got his wife, and they married at 13 in those days, right? Don't judge the past. That's what it was. So they married at 13, but he was also decent enough to go, well, she's a bit young to have a kid with right now, so he was a herder, right?
Yeah.
So he went off for 18 months and came back, and now there's a baby there. So he's upset. Obviously, right? You're like, whoa, I've been away. This baby's got kind of a different skin color, it doesn't even look like him.
Yeah.
And he's freaking out, right? So he's like, what's going on? So he's like, and everybody swears, right? 'Cause he's going to kill everybody. They swear it didn't happen. He's like, okay, I go talk to my uncle, right? So he goes up, he sees Methuselah, who's his uncle. Or his father, I believe. Yeah, that would be his father. So he goes see Methuselah, his father, right? And Methuselah actually doesn't know. He's like, well, let's go see my father, Enoch, who's 7th generation from Jared. And so they go see Enoch, right? Enoch lived on Earth for a very long time.
Was it 900 years?
Well, that was Methuselah. That was Methuselah. He lived for 969 years because there was a golden age, right?
Yeah.
People are supposed to be living this long, right? Well, naturally, we're supposed to spend this much time on the planet to learn.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can see it just with the galactic channelings and that. In most civilized planets, people don't graduate high school until you're 70. You don't get married until you're 130.
Yeah.
You know, so again, when I say don't feel guilty, because the people on this planet have been suppressed so badly, man. It's unbelievable.
We're fucking getting married at 20 and
20 and you're dead by you're 70. The rest of the universe graduates high school when you're 70, right? Because you don't even know anything till you're 70.
Oh, fuck yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But now us, we're walking around caves.
I'm 40 and I don't know fuck all.
Well, that's it, right? You're just babies. So
Yeah.
we've been set up for not having this. So a lot of this is going to be, this is what I mean, standing in your power, right? People are looking for med beds. Fuck the med beds, man. It's more about learning how to heal yourself through visualization and everything else. Joy Dispenza, all this kind of stuff. This is what the new age is.
I love Joe Dispenza.
Yeah. So going back to Enoch, Enoch's, oh yeah, that's the people, because he went up into space. He talks about it in the book of Enoch, right?
Yeah.
Book of Enoch's got great things. It's like, if you ever look at those, what do they call plateaus everywhere?
Yeah.
They're actually just bases of giant trees, because
That's
Enoch,
I've heard this.
yeah, Enoch chapter 66, number 2, I believe. In the book of Enoch 66, number 2, the Elohim came down and chopped off all the giant trees, because they didn't want the Nephilim, the giants, and everybody just jumping up the trees, right? So they cut down all these giant trees so that they knew what the flood was going to happen. Because basically when the Watchers crashed here, they had observing time with their science and that because of this crash, Mars was going to be wiped out. Because Mars was going to be wiped out, it was going to cause a flood on Earth. And they voted just, yeah, let everybody drown, right? Except for Enki, you know, who's known by different names. And with Enki, Enki decided to build that ark and help out Noah, right? And again, immaculate conception.
Which is actually a submersible.
Yes, the submersible. Noah was in there with his kids. All those different children's names mean different colors, so they had the different colors of the different races of people and everything. All test tube babies, right?
Yeah.
And so this is about 11 to 13,000.
And it wasn't two animals; it was all the DNA, so they could repopulate.
Yes, exactly, right? It's just
that was.
But you know, it's
wasn't that Thoth that was in there?
Yeah, Thoth was in that too. The tablets of Thoth. There's also Ganesha, right? So your phone right now, if all power went out, because my phone's over there.
Yeah.
Imagine this, okay? So right now, all the power goes out. Everything's done, right? They have this great attack. Our grandchildren find this in 100 years. They're like, what is this thing? I'm like, oh, we used to talk to each other all over the world. They'd be like, magic. Right? Like, they wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
You know, to think that we're at the principal, like, look at all the buildings and structures on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's pyramids. Pyramids here in New Brunswick. Go up to, where's that at? Campbellford there, or Campbellton. Mount Sugarloaf. That's just an ancient pyramid. You know?
Yeah.
It really is. And then there's pyramids in Bosnia.
Yeah.
The oldest pyramid in the earth is Mount Kailash. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got
What's
7
that?
other pyramids around. That's in India. That's Shiva's
Okay.
mountain, God's mountain, right?
Yeah.
So Abraham, he worshipped the God under the mountain, Lord Adonai, or El Shaddai, the God of breath. Like so, but nobody understood that, right? So then you got to look at the prophets. So then what happened is that after Abraham, basically, I read this all in the Tibetan scrolls. Because of karma issues, the Jewish people were put into slavery. And they were treated very badly. And then basically, the invisible deity friend of Moishe helps him deliver his people. But in the Tibetan gospel, they didn't part the Red Sea. They just moved to another town because they pissed off.
Yeah.
They just said, get out of here, right? Get out of here, boys. Right? Take out my people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's what he did. You see, in the Jewish tradition, there's a technique called peshering. So we hide everything in giant miracles and stuff, right? Because we have to hide our storyline. So it's all symbolism, and it's peshering technique is what it's called.
Okay.
So not the Red Sea, just moved to a different town, right? But that's that same force that helped Lamech, right? Same force that helped Noah, now helping Moshe, right? And then years later, and at that time there was still kind of paganism, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, then Jesus comes as a really good teacher, and he did, man. And I'm telling you, crucifixion ain't no fiction, but he wasn't the Son of God, he was a messenger, just like everybody else. And they crucified him, and that invisible God brought him back to life. That simple, right? Mm-hmm. Hung around, everybody's talking about it for 2,000 years later, right? Like that's really it. And they make up a whole bunch of stories about it and stuff he never even said, but whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But he's a very holy person, right? But everything he did say was pretty cool, and that became the Cathars, and it was up in Bulgaria and stuff. But then, you know, when the Romans took over the religion because of St. George, and the true teachings of Christianity were lost. The true teachings of this invisible God that's been looking after us since Noah, looking after us since Moses, now with Yeshua, was taken over by the Mithrians in Rome in the 3rd century, right? So God had no choice but to send his other prophet, blessings be upon him, right? His main prophet, his teacher Muhammad, who came here and just put the line, right? He was there for the time. Yeah. But then other prophets have come. There's been Guru Nanak and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, religion's a big business. There can't be other prophets, right? Like, it's our prophet, as I told you, that's the flower, but that's not it. But Muhammad was very purposeful, because he's actually he talks about Isa, he talks about people in the book, you know, he was steering us back away from the Roman sinfulness, right? So the Roman Catholic Church is really just Roman Mithrian evil. Yeah. And the true religion of our God, of the people of that land, is Islam and Sufism, right? So as a Sufi, we see also God as, we call it beloved. Okay. Right? Because it's very important. Muhammad talks in the Quran about trying to see God's face, right? It's just like us, right? But eventually, when you get in those meditations, you realize that it's feminine. Right? This is what the Chinese have said with Kuan Yin. This is what the Arabian El Shaddai, right? Because Mother Earth is feminine, right? Yeah. As I said, Allah or Jehovah, God's like the veil, the darkness, the void, the 63% of the dark matter. He's not involved with this. Yeah. You know, and so when you pray, that's why to pray to the mother's energy, raise the Kundalini into the mother, right? He's watching the mother create all this, right? So people are messing this. In Islam too, you have Allah and Allat, right? But there's 3 goddesses in Islam as well, just like there is in Hinduism and everywhere else. And there's always, you know, in Islam, I believe it's the maiden, the mother, and the crow, right? Very similar to yeah, everything, right? Vikings, Wiccan, everything. It's all the same story, right? Yeah. They tell it in a different way. Now, what I like about these prophets is they would teach you how to kind of purify yourself and become one-hearted. And so basically I'm going with all their messages and kind of showing them that it's the same song. Now find your own power like all these prophets taught you by going within. And that's what, instead of trying to worship everybody that came, right? Worshipping Yeshua as God is wrong. He's not God. He's Isa, son of Mary. He's a prophet. He's a messenger from God. Right? Yeah. That's it.
That's what I've always said.
That's it. But that's honorable. You know, God doesn't come here, man. God's incarnated, right? And then he said, same thing
shit to do.
Muhammad said, yeah, he's busy, man. He's got it, right? So, yeah, and that's
Listen, motherfucker, I'm busy. Shit, son.
Yeah, man. You don't mess around either, right? So, as you see, he's destroyed this place 7 times before. Yeah. When he's like, okay, listen, I told you to stop putting chips in your brains. Done, right? What do you think the Tower of Babel was? Right? Same sort of stuff. Yeah. Same story again, right? And so
you went too far again, Dan.
But again, let's not go God with that, right? God's God, he doesn't get involved, right? That's Yahweh. I told you, the crazy guy, right? The sword of God, the Zion of El Shaddai. Yahweh doesn't put up with that stuff. He's crazy. Yeah. So, I like him anyways.
Well, someone's got to do the dirty work.
Yeah, well, that's it, right?
And God says, hey, man, that's fucked.
Well,
like, I'll fix
that. He outsources, right? Yeah. It's like a CO. He's not going to send somebody else. He's not going to go do it himself. It's you, go over there and get that.
Private,
right?
Go over there.
Yeah, punch that guy in the face, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening, man. So, actually, think of a good Afghan story, man. You know, we were dropping bombs all the time on like people dropping roads, right? Like, and they come in and they fire $80,000 Hellfire missile and then mess them or something like that. I was always thinking, what a waste of money. When I was embedded with the Afghans, it was great because I'm like, hey, Wally, there's a guy digging over there, and Hazrat Wali, the captain there, he's like, oh wait, one minute, you go shoot him, and the guy just ran out. And my officer, Lyndon Mason, he's like, where's that guy going? I go, it was like almost like a Monty Python. Dook dook, drops the guy and then runs back. And I'm like, well, that's like 65 cents, like just $1.50 that we spent there instead of 80,000. Like that's how you win the war, right? But that is funny. Just that kind of point, right? Yeah. But no, war is big business, right? Takes part of my family too. Part of my family lives up in Marathon on the reservation there, and there's still nowhere any water, man. Yet here we are sending everything we can, right, to the other sides and all that good stuff. I'm always big on make your own bed, take care of your own house, and once that's done, then help others.
Yeah.
Right? Put yourself in order first, right?
It's like the old lifeguard
yeah.
lesson. If somebody's flailing in the water, you let them drown.
Oh,
then you get them.
Yeah, a lot easier.
Yeah. That way you don't get hit.
Yeah, because they'll knock you right out.
Because if you get knocked out, you're both fucking dead.
Yeah, I did the lifeguard. So you do lifeguard as well, or?
Well, I never really took the course, but it's one of those things that everybody always uses as an analogy, right? When they're trying to explain self-care.
Well, I did swimmer on the ship when I was on the Navy, right? I did rescue swimming. Because I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do that. If somebody falls over, I'll go for a swim. Sucks in the Northern Atlantic, but it's actually quite fun when you're down in Barbados or anywhere else. Yeah, a lot more fun, right?
Yeah, well, it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so a lot of that, man, is just like this kind of discussions is what people need to have, right? In an open environment where it can't be so hostile. And I find when you go meet people, anywhere I go in the world, we're pretty much the same. We just want a simple life, we want this. It's the politicians, the corporations, it's the big business.
Those greedy people
they're pushing us against each other, right? When I meet people everywhere, people are like, wow, you go to these crazy places. I'm like, yeah, everybody's nice. Like the politicians, wherever you go, are pretty shady, but you know, like everybody else, they're pretty cool. Like, honestly, the average people are good people.
Yeah, they're just
really are.
people.
You know, like, you know, just
we're all looking at each other, going,
no, why do I have to hate you? Why do I have to hate this guy? Right?
What are they doing over there?
That's it. So
it's
yeah,
like, what are those fucking people up there doing? Like,
but that's part of it. So
are
that's
you
why
real?
I'm going to pray at the mosque, and I'm going to pray at the church, and I'm going to pray everywhere. All that stuff, right? I prayed in temples and that. I try to show people it's not about that. Like you're talking to something creator, right? It's something interdimensional. It really is. It's a multiversal kind of thing. You're talking to source energy.
Something
at the end of the day,
dimensions away.
Yes, that you don't have in our little pea brains. We can't really understand what we're doing yet, right?
That's why.
It's a form of what we call bhakti, right? Which is devotion. So if you're Christian or you're Muslim or you're Jewish, it's just about, or even Buddhist, Hindu, it's all the same. It's devotion. You're bhakti to a higher power, the force, if you will. In a nice window, you're devoted to it, right? And you're just in that energy of that. Now, people want to wear a cloak, so that's what religion is, right? But it's not the truth, it's just a cloak. So I can say, hey, look, like this right now, everybody knows I'm someone, a vet or a soldier, right? I've identified myself, right? But the hat, so in mysticism, we always say the turban or the hat, that's why mystics wear turbans and hats, is that's where we hide the truth. Because the normal population can't handle the truth, right? Because the truth is actually pretty scary in many ways, right? Because it's just like, whoa, hold on, there's just a big universe and I can do whatever, and I'm all, yeah. It's that's how powerful you really are, man. Our woman, sister, that's how it is.
Yeah.
They don't like that. They're like, well, I want my boundaries, I got to put my religious coat on, give me my hat, give me all this kind of stuff and put me in. I'm like, no, it's not like that, Jack. Right? That's what I mean, right? See, this is how I talk.
You
right?
people at home missed a good little wink moment. We'll get more cameras so that we can see it from different angles. Don't you worry. That's fucking great.
But that's it, right? Like it's just, and that's what I hope to do in that side. And then when I get back from that, I'm taking Stephanie and Jackson, and I'm going over to Nepal.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna go for 12 days, and then I have on November 13th. We're at the beach, it's on the Buddhist mountain there. See, so I'm taking everybody, 1,000 people actually coming with me this time.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to go from sunset to sunrise on that full moon of meditation and singing and dancing, just having a good time for peace, right?
Yeah.
The same thing I'm trying to do in Israel, same thing. I'm just trying to get people to change their energy, right? It's us changing our energy destroys their system. Believe me. It's that simple, man. Like, you're looking for magic superpowers, you're looking for a hero to come down from the sky. Like, I don't know, some guy's gonna come down on a fucking white horse and start chopping people's heads off. It's like, what are you talking about? Where's that coming from? That's not gonna happen, right? What they meant by that is when you raise your kundalini, it's Kalki on the white horse, or Jesus on the white horse. It's just a visualization in your head, right? That you raised up to your power now, and you're standing in your power. That's it. Nobody's coming down here to start chopping people's heads off and flying around and that. That might be a space war. That's something different, right? That's not this. What scripture and what these are symbols of yoga and that's trying to teach you is it's about standing in the golden age, standing in the energy of your power, right? And being human, right? Humans are actually super beings. You have so many superpowers, right? On our hands alone, there's different apps. There's more apps than your phones, right? So that's why you see when yoga, we could do this, we could do different apps, we could put different mudras back and forth. And it's connection, right? The prophet Ezekiel, he was the head of the Pythagoras school. He's actually also known, he carried on the Pythagoras. He was an Iraqi Ezekiel. Chaldean.
Really?
Yeah, Chaldean, right? Just like Abraham was Iraq. He wasn't, that was the original. They're all Chaldean, they're from Iraq.
Well, that's where the Euphrates River is.
Yes, that's where they were all from, right? That's where they were.
Was even the main spaceport was up in that area.
Yes, the Sinai spaceports and all that kind of stuff, and that was it for the gold mining and all that kind of stuff. That happens, and that's all still going on. And we have deals and contracts with different aliens and aliens, and Chinese have different ones with these guys, and BRICS have different ones with their aliens, and that's all happening behind the scenes. But we can have peace, right? I think the idea for all of it is we achieve peace here on Earth, because there's no reason for the Draco Empire to be fighting against the Elohim Empire, against this empire. They could all just have this, and there's enough resources here to go around, right? But the thing is that people don't understand, they open themselves up to karma, right? So you're allowed to eat what animal you want. God doesn't judge that. That's just, like, the highest power of the universe is not going to come here and say, oh, you ate a pig, now you're dead, or you didn't wear a hijab, or you weren't circumcised. They don't care about that. That's man's rules, right? You know, but eat things with respect, right? Do things, you can eat what you want, and like, kind of like, this is what I've been trying to teach people, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter. You can eat meat if you really choose so, right? It's just regulation of everything, right? Because meat's hard to digest for people, right? So if you're eating, you know, bacon and steak 5 times a day, I'm sorry, dude, you're gonna get ass cancer, man. That's what happens, right? Like, it's just what happens, right? Because you're full of shit now, right? You got to eat some fiber in there, man, and purge yourself. You know, fish is great because it's yoga. What I learned from yoga, right? Because I eat everything. I don't care. I'll eat. You know, one thing I don't do is alcohol anymore. I don't touch that. Right? That's a spirit. I don't believe in alcohol. But I'll eat whatever I want. But I
believe in alcohol for cleaning up my wounds.
Yeah, alcohol is good for wound cleaning and stuff like that. You should drink it. So, you know, and again, having a beer here and there, I get it. But it's that it leads to different things, right? It's taken away from your spiritual development. So remember, I said the fluids you're putting. As soon as you put that booze in you, right? You now have you've opened up yourself to interdimensional beings coming into the fluid. Every planet has interdimensional beings that want to get inside you. Like, this is a multiverse, man. They're coming at you from every angle. So you got to put on what we say the armor of God, right? We're not talking about like actual physical armor in the sense, but like a mystical armor, if you will, right? So how do I put my armor of God on? Simple enough. So going back to Pythagoras, everything is sound, right? Well, what's that mean? Because Pythagoras theorized that if something's moving, and everything is moving, it therefore creates a sound. So the basis of the whole universe is sound and movement. So if you understand that, then you understand the sounds. So the basic sounds of the universe is Why? Because 3 distinct, right? So there's, in quantum physics, we say creative force, maintenance force, destructive force. Creative force, right? When you see a baby, they kind of coo at you. That's the maintenance. That's the neutron. So proton. Ooh, neutron. Electron. U-M. So I'm just soundproofing my body, my energy field, right? And then I could go further with that. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, Adi Shakti, to the goddess. Om, Ham, Yam, Ram, Vam, Lam, right? So in each one, this is red, this is orange, this is yellow. So more visualizations, more things you can do, you can build up, right? And this is what I'll teach you. So a Christian person, you know, that's not comfortable with that sort of stuff. Because again, they have these boundaries. They're like, oh, I can't do that, I'm going to hell. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'll teach you a different way to do it, right? So then I'll do like, you can do the same thing though.
Don't shine this light on me.
Yeah, it's like,
no, get away.
Yeah, that's not how it works. So, but the other way is like, what I like to say is a good one that King David used. Hallelujah. You know,
so that's where hallelujah.
Yeah. Hallelujah. This is your energy rising, right? So it's just a different chants, right? These holy sounds. It's just making sounds, right?
Yeah.
You can. Sound is the basis of everything, right? 1971, oh man, I'm trying to think of Hungarian scientist there, Dr. Dennis Gabor. He won the physics prize for creating the first hologram. And it was basically taking the full spectrum of light that we're in and refracting it through lasers and mirrors, and he's able to create a hologram. In that hologram, any part of that hologram, I would put another mirror, it will complete another hologram. You're part of this hologram, right? This is part of what the Catholics we call the God matrix. Because our eyeballs are just cameras.
Yeah.
The vision you have of me, even the vision they have of us on TV right now are on the camera, in their eyeballs, it's not true. You're seeing the vision inside the hologram of your brain. Your eyes are just cameras. They see, there's at least 4 million things going on here at all times. Your eyes just pick it all up. But how do you know what to see? So what you see is based off what's called your reticular activating system back here. It's like a GPS guided down. So it's based off your belief system. So all your conditioned beliefs. It operates pretty fast though. It can observe 4,000 pieces of information per second. That's amazing. Right? So you're taking 4,000, it's a supercomputer. This is the whole body. You're superhuman. You really are. So it's taking 4,000 pieces out of that 2 or 3 million, maybe 4 million things happening. It observes that, but it's based off your belief system. To give that context, if I think that every time I go into a bank, I'm going to have a bad experience, right? That's my belief system. Then I drive to the bank, I walk through that door, I'm going to notice that person's on the phone, oh, they look angry, oh, that person's over there looking this, because I'm looking to reinforce my belief system, right? That's why it's so important to really look at your belief systems, because it's guiding you. It's guiding you in a direction that you may not even know that you're being controlled. So to break somebody's belief, you know, I come in with that shock and just say, hey, but not to break, because challenge somebody's beliefs, you could end up dead pretty fast, right? I like to say, I like to take from the known to the unknown. And that's why I've been studying, because Mahatma Gandhi is one of my favorites, right? Mahatma is a great soul, right? And one of the things he did is he read from all religions.
Yeah.
You know, he used to tell Christians, he goes, I really like Jesus, but I don't really like you Christians. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus is good, right? But
that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Jesus is cool, but you Christians kind of crazy, right?
You guys are fucked.
You know, because whether I was with the Taliban in the asshole of the world in Kandahar, or I was in Arkansas, it was pretty much the same.
A horrible fucking place.
Just like Arkansas, though. It was the same people were there. We were doing patrols in Arkansas.
I feel sorry for those people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck, man.
But again, it's
their karma.
It's not just karma, it's where it is. It's just simply, this is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
And instead of judging it, we need to observe it.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, yeah, be responsible. So instead of feeling guilty, instead of feeling, oh, I can't do anything about it, it's about taking your power back. See, great power comes great responsibility. So I tell people, oh yeah.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. Man.
Stan Lee is the man.
Yeah, yeah. With great, well, he was that's all channeling and all that stuff. Marvel's just channeling.
Oh, you can tell.
Oh yeah,
he hit every conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah,
and he worked on. He wrote it all down for the government with Dr. Seuss.
So if you say, yeah, it's kind of cool actually. It's kind of cool. No?
He was the one that wrote it all down for the army.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at something actually today. There's
and they're like, you can't tell anybody, but I'm going to put it in a cartoon. Okay, they won't believe you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Well, that's how they do it.
That's why Marvel's story was coherent,
right?
and DC's wasn't.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, great power comes great responsibility. So I'm going to tell you this. Do you think you're responsible for the homeless right now?
No.
See, and there's where you lost your power.
Why?
Because I didn't say, are you at fault for the homeless right now? I said, are you responsible? See, you got to look at the word responsible. See, words, spelling, right?
Well, I understand.
Yeah, so watch.
Respond.
How do I respond to the homeless? Do you have an ability to respond to the homeless down there right now?
I'm sure I do.
Exactly. So you have a responsibility to the homeless. I'm not saying you have to go help them, but you could respond to them in any which way you want. Maybe it's just like you send them prayers. Maybe it's just like you give them $5 when you went by. But your ability to respond, right? You're responsible. When you see yourself as responsible for everything that's happened, everything that's ever happened, everything that will ever happen, you get your power back. I'm not saying it's your fault, but you're responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because it's your ability to respond to it. You know, and not saying you have to respond in a way that I want you to respond, but don't say, so if you just sat there on your phone and go, like, somebody's having a heart attack, they're like, my responsibility, right? And they sit there on their phone, fuck that shit. You know, you've given your power away as a human. Because it is your responsibility.
Well, I guess.
But it's not your fault. And that's where the messaging has to change. This is where I was saying up here, right?
Yeah.
Remove your guilt, but you take responsibility. You take ownership of every aspect, right? So right now, the starving kids in Africa, your responsibility. Everything is your responsibility. And if you look at that way, yes, because you have an ability to respond to it. You know, like maybe it's just at nighttime you say prayers to them. That's a response. Just don't say, it's not my responsibility, because you've cut yourself. Like you're giving messages to your subconscious that, no, I don't have the power to do that. But you don't have the power to pray for people in Africa or send them good vibes, you know what I mean? Like,
which honestly I do.
Yes, so you are responding.
When you flip the word, or like not flip the word, but when you break it down and actually look at what the word actually is saying, which
that's what Stan Lee meant by that.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
So the greater your responsibility, the greater you are willing to respond to your environment, the greater power you'll have flowing through you from the chi and from the universe, man. It's just how it works. It's positive balance, right? It's like why when you do good things
I can't
for people,
refute that. I can't refute that.
It's not your fault, right?
Yeah.
You know, I tell people, is residential schools and slavery your fault? No, but it is your responsibility, right? We have to respond to what happened, right?
Yeah.
We have to do something about this, right? It's not fault. So stop trying to put fault on everybody all the time. This guy's fault, this guy's fault. Like, dude, I didn't have
Which is what turns people away, because that's
of course,
that's how they're dividing.
They mess us up, right? You know, but great power comes great responsibility. It's in our ability to own responsibility for every aspect in this world. You were sent here for a reason. You own it all, right? Like you're a child of the Creator, man. Like you're much more. This is what I'm trying to tell people. You're so freaking magnificent. You don't even know it, right? But they beat you down, so you're like, well, that's not my responsibility. But you're going away your power. They're using magic against you.
Yes.
Right? It's not your fault, but it is our responsibility. We have an ability to respond in any which way. You know, maybe I'll actually go help the homeless person. Maybe I'll send them prayers. Maybe, you know, the people in Africa, I say, whatever I could do. I'm helping the people in Nepal by building.
Yeah.
You see, because I see the world. So this opened up. I didn't plan to build a hospital. I just changed my perspective. I went to Nepal, started helping people. Now I'm building a hospital.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how it all just help it, right? Because I open myself up to the energy of the universe. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. When you take great responsibility for everything, you know, the force will align with you. It really will. It'll give you what you need, right? Mm-hmm. And it's when you say, no, that's not my job, that's not my job, that's not my job. It's not your job. It's your responsibility. It's just not your fault, right? And that's it's such a my guru taught me that too, right? I'm not making this is my Indian guru like this is. I was like blown away at the time too. It's like because I always associate responsibility with my fault, but I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, well, that's the way we use the word.
Yes, but words are magic. Words are spelling, so words are powerful. Take back your words. I think there's over 50,000 words, maybe I'm wrong, 5,000 or 50,000, don't quote me on this. Either one of those in the English language. And the average person can only use 500.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think, because Shakespeare used the most. I remember reading
Well,
that
we
once.
use a lot of words for the same thing.
Yes.
Which is also redundant and weird.
Yes, and so it flips us down, so our vocabulary comes down. It takes away our power. All these words are very powerful. Every language is powerful, even the letters, right? So in the English language, the vowels are the most powerful, right? So vowels connect you to the divine feminine. So if you just want to do a normal mantra, you can go ah, E, I, O, U, and then Mother Mary, the M, Mother, Matter, same word, right?
Yeah.
And it's all key, so that language is put up. So a consonant is like a symbol, but when you generate power, right? So when you're creating magic and spelling, you do it with that. So when we say, let's think of a spell I've kind of wrote. I'm talking about spell, right?
Yeah.
Shambho, Shambho, Chakra Sambhara, Shambho, Shambho, Horuka Samaya, Nandi Bandi Nila Kanta Taya Shambho Shivaya. So I'm introducing different sounds into the sphere, into the matrix around me.
Yeah.
These sounds, especially in the Sanskrit, are like computer programming. And they interact with everything around, right? So you can manifest through the sound, right? Everything is sound. Pythagoras and Ezekiel, right? Everything's moving, everything is sound. So in the English language, it's the vowels, right? A, E, I, O, U is how you connect to the divine feminine. The feminine is El Shaddai. Feminine is the mother, is the energy of the force, right? So there's two ways to really get into the force energy. The way the Satanists do it, like the NATO generals, you know, basically all the guys in NATO and that, what they do is they'll take children and they'll kill them and use their blood and stuff, right? Like that's generally kind of what they like.
The whole adrenochrome.
Yeah, CIA, those kind of guys, CSIS, all those RCMP, they're all bad like that, right? At the higher levels, they have a lot of warlocks and wizards that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The magic I'm talking about is called innocence, where you become 3-year-old again, right? So we get Gami to come out. I call him Gami, right? Mother. See, God created all the angels and all that kind of stuff in the heavens and that. But Mother Earth was lonely, so she created Gami. And Gami is kind of like the force of this planet. It's like an energy, right? It's that immaculate conception is the real story is Gami.
Yeah.
So this energy, it comes through innocence, right? So the deep state, evil guys, they can't use it, right? Because you got to paint your face, and that's why you see shamans playing and you play with puppets and stuff. It's like you want to play with Gami, you can make the magic work in the world, right? But you have to become very gentle and very innocent of your emotion.
Yeah.
Yet, so that's how white magic works, and then you have black magic, and you have variations in between, right? But yeah, most of NATO and all those guys, because you got to remember Operation Paperclip, right? Like most of the Nazis all became the NATO commanders. They ran the CIA, they ran CSIS. I mean, Germany was in charge of human consciousness transferring, right? They moved that to Ukraine after the Nazis moved that. Canada does cloning, right? So when these people, we're specialized in cloning, and that's where the Nazis came here. Oh yeah, we do all that. I mean, the largest thing of adrenochrome was caught coming to Canada like in 2020 there, right? Navy SEAL team took it out. It was headed out towards the Yukon. And oh yeah, like Canada's like full deep state rat. Like it's just.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the most evil places in the world, right? But this is why I like.
Yes.
That way, not the people, but
people are beautiful.
Yeah, it's just that government that's been built, right? Like it was really.
Except for the oil money in Alberta, those people are just fucking rude.
Well, yeah, this anything when it involves
spoiled little
money,
really.
money adds to that, right? I think one of the things that one of my teachers was teaching me recently was to stop looking at things as like good, bad. This just look at it as energy. It's different colors of energy. And she said, "We're alchemists, right? So just absorb the energy. Sometimes you can get that dark energy, right? Like you're looking at the war. Like I love both the Russian and the Ukrainian people. I have no problem with either side of them. The issue I have is with the politicians that are making them fight each other.
Oh yeah.
And they just hate each other. Like we always do this, right? Yeah. It's the same thing.
Well, we're always under threat of a
so don't look at it as evil, but just look at it as energy that needs to be transmuted.
Yeah.
Right? Because as the Great Awakening happens, this stuff is going to happen. So what's better to do than to say, oh my God, post this, like fight this, fight that. More so is to sit there and manifest sending good energy to these places, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's responsibility. It's a lot said for that. Just focusing and saying love, sending light to both sides, right? Because they're just, we don't see them as our family, you know, it hurts it, right? But
You gotta look over every once in a while.
No, how long have we been going?
Oh, we've been going for an hour and 15.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll give it another 15 or so, or what?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna make another move or what?
Yeah, sorry, I got carried away now.
No, that's good.
Yeah, let's go in there. I need my glasses now, right? Where am I at?
We're gonna get into the game.
Yeah, so I don't do that.
We gotta keep the camera rolling at least until the game's over.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So if you want to get out of here in 15, then I'd start playing
I'd
chess.
start to play, yeah. Why not? Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. All right, buddy.
That's where you are at.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is chess. This is what I call my enemy squiggle pussy. Right? That's my because when I was going through my healing and stuff, people told me just picture that there's a demon outside ready to jump you, right?
Yeah.
So if you drink or you do anything or you don't put on your armor of God or you don't get ready for your PTSD struggles, he's going to jump you. And at first I was calling him the demon that's outside, and I thought that was too powerful. I'm going to call that guy squiggle pussy. Right? So I was like, gotta remember squiggle pussy's waiting outside, so this is why I do what I do. Help myself out.
Castle it.
Yeah.
As long as your rook hasn't moved and your king hasn't moved, you can still castle it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's another move that I learned that you can do that I didn't know you could do. I just can't remember what it is, and we haven't gotten quite into the position yet. So.
Sure.
Oh, you couldn't do that because you're in check.
Oh, I couldn't do that, could I?
No.
Oh, yeah. I've been lost as a player, so
It's okay, I didn't even catch that. No, we're
yeah, we're there. We're there. Try to get the first thing. Well, that's it. It's just about moving pieces here and there and see how some sacrifice.
You have to move your king.
Do I? Where did I check for that?
Right here.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say check, that's what it was.
Yeah.
'Cause I wasn't thinking about it.
There we go. I see.
First of all, if you were gonna castle,
There.
teach it, it would be like that.
Yeah.
But because you already moved your king, you can't actually castle.
Oh,
Because
I
you
was
moved it.
there. See, I
That's
played
how it
chess
works.
for a while, right?
Well, this is also, like, we can explain to people how it goes,
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
That don't know how to play chess. Now, I'm not no chess master.
of course, you're not Russian.
I got my ass kicked. Yeah, I got my ass kicked by a couple
Yeah, for sure.
friends there. This is why I'm taking more of an interest getting back into chess.
Yeah.
Because up until then I was undefeated on my own board. And then that came down. I was like, oh, I gotta get better at chess. Well,
keep wanting your horses.
say what?
I want your knights.
You want my knights? I can see that. That's why I haven't been moving them into where you want them.
Yeah, it is.
But you can't have them.
Yeah, not yet. Anyways. Anyways. Sorry, we gotta start a view where instead of focus from the front, we're not just teaching.
Yes, we do.
Right.
Okay, I know how to explain the pawn move. There is a move, I'll explain it actually after. Oh, you did take it too. Fuck.
Okay.
See? You made a mistake.
Yeah.
So I'll just take that
I don't know. So.
guy. I just thought I was being sneaky, but I didn't fucking notice that. Threw me off and you took my queen. I thought I was gonna move quicker, but it didn't work. Alright. You just prolonged your own time leaving here.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's do it. Let's
Love
finish
it though.
Yeah, let's finish this off. I don't mind, right? Well, this is it.
We will get a chessboard up on the screen here at some point.
Yeah, that's it, right?
So that people can follow along with the moves and stuff as we go. I think it's gonna be a neat little thing that we do here.
Yeah, I like it. That's it.
Is it my move?
What? Yeah, it's your move. I haven't played this game in a while, so this is great. I think the last time I actually played was in Afghanistan.
Really? This board, I bought in Afghanistan.
Yeah?
On my
yeah,
first-
I was
my
looking
first
at it.
trip in
Looking like
03.
an Afghan board, doesn't it?
Yeah, in my first trip in 03. You want my horse or my rook, don't you?
Either or, but.
You really
We'll get there.
You really want my fucking horse.
I don't know, he's pissed me off. I was just like, I get it now. Why he keeps hiding? So it's like. It's also just keep you in check there for balance. Can't move too much.
Keep me away from where you are.
Yeah.
Well, here I can play your game too. You were in check, sir.
Yeah, I think as much.
Probably could have done that a while ago, but it's not where I was looking.
I want to get rid of this.
you check again. And just remember, you can't go backwards with pawns.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't be in check there. You only have 2 moves you can do. I think. Okay, so now. Probably Garrett coming in for a smoke or something. Wasn't sure if it was the house door.
Oh, yeah, I know, I'm always doing that too.
Oh.
Well, the other day I walked into the room and I could smell exhaust. I was like, what the heck? And then there's a cab out front, right?
Oh, it's Amy.
Hey, Amy.
If you walk over this way, you will be on camera on live TV.
Yeah, we're still going here.
What can we help you with, Amy? This is the metal kid.
No, he's trying to destroy him now.
He wants my horse.
Yeah, well, I like the thing too, but
We'll get there eventually, Brian. Well, I need to decide whether I'm going to allow you to take. Well, you can't really take anything.
no,
Or
no,
lose it.
I'm not.
Well, you can't.
I'm positioning for now.
What are your position?
Yeah, that's all.
Position.
Position. Yeah. See what happens.
Well.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I would not do.
Well, I thought you were going to go after my
I
castle.
was.
And then I realized you can't because I'll take it anyway.
Yeah.
I forgot that my castle was covered by my castle.
Castle, yeah.
Because I thought my castle was vulnerable.
Yeah, you got the bolt down there. It's good though.
Yeah. Well.
Oh,
And you're in check. Okay.
look at that,
Sir,
eh?
good sir.
That'll work out for me. Double check that. It's got to go south.
I'm going to call that checkmate, good sir.
Yeah, you got it aside. Well, good, man.
Good game.
Yeah. Well, that's quick for half.
Well, you haven't played in a while.
Yeah,
so
we
right,
got
so
to play an intense game
don't-
from the start.
It's not your fault.
It's not. It's my responsibility. See, that's how
To
I
get
get
better.
Yes, exactly. Well, we'll be back to play.
So the next time,
Yeah, man.
you'd be like, fuck you, Brian, you're not going to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the kids to start playing. Okay, transport, kids, come at me. So we're gonna, we're gonna crush them all, and then I'm gonna come.
Crush
back
them
in.
all, and you come back and be like, I learned some stuff, Brian.
Yeah, ready?
That's what I have to do to my buddy James. To James, the guy that does usually does the producing for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushing all the buttons. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at chess. And I was like,
well, I've never.
but just like you, it's been a long time since I played, right? So I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but it's a different game, different mindset.
I had to get my brain back into chess mode, right?
Yeah,
so thank you
you
for
got this in
playing.
Afghanistan?
Yeah, I got this board in Afghanistan.
Nice, man. Yeah, I remember that. Living all over there.
Yeah.
I used to play my buddy Bertrand.
I think it only cost me like $10. 10 American dollars.
Yeah, it was really cheap. I got stuff in
But look at this marble.
I know. You can't get the quality like that.
Up there,
right?
you'll see another piece of marble that we got out of the Queen's Palace in Kabul.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never got up to Kabul.
That's where I was the first time I went.
Yeah.
First time I went to Afghanistan, I was in Kabul.
I was always in Kandahar. Asshole place. So a couple times, 3 times. 2008, 2009, 2010. Didn't change much. Except for that 1 year we were building a road, the next year we gave up on the road, then I came back and we were rebuilding the road. It was like, can anybody ever figure out the mission on this one? But whatever. No, it's good, man. No.
Well, Todd,
Sir.
because I haven't had anybody else do it yet, I would like you to be the first person to sign the new table. For those of you who don't know, we've always had this table here at Morningstar Entertainment that we had a lot of people come through and sign, but unfortunately I'm going through a divorce and this table was littered with memories of that, but I didn't want to lose the tradition or anything, so I sanded it down, kept some of the other thing, kept some of it alive that didn't want to die, like my bass player's name on here like 3 or 4 times. He carved into it. The Fallen Ponds logo.
Yeah, we used to have actually the Queen's Own.
We got our own little pentagram going on here.
We had our own Queen's Own and we had an airborne table like that.
But sir, pick a spot, write a message, sign your name, leave a date if you want. You will be the first to sign the new table. I haven't even signed it yet. But then again, should I even sign it? Because it's...
Why not?
Boys and girls, or whatever you want to call yourself, if you're an attack helicopter or a dinosaur.
Yeah. There you go. Cpt Jackass, aka Thaddeus. Everything is your responsibility. With great responsibility comes great power.
Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Always a pleasure as always. You guys, Amy, you want to say anything before we turn off? Amy doesn't want to say anything. No, I'm going to be a teenager in the corner.
No, I'm shaving off dirt all the time.
Alright, later guys.
Later. Good job, man.
Ooh, that was great.
Yeah, actually, I enjoyed it. I didn't even know I was like,